to another weekly edition of our StaySmart newsletter and podcast, brought to you by Viciniti Corporate Housing, where we try to keep you updated on what we see happening in the industry. Coming to you from our office here in Kansas City. It's been a little bit rainy the last couple of days, so I'm trying to do this indoors. And also excuse the gash on my head here. I actually took a direct contact with a mirror in my hotel in Nashville last week, and actually have a bump on the back of my head from a luggage coming down from an overhead bin on an air flight back from California last week. So business travel can be a contact sport, so keep that in mind. The first article that we have that we're going to be talking about is business travel, corporate business travel in general. It's an article from the Wall Street Journal. We've talked about this in the past, airlines, hotels, convention. This article talks about convention demand outpacing, supply. So a lot of business travel coming back. During COVID, there was a lot of talk about, will business travel ever come back? And it definitely, according to this article, and we've talked about on this podcast before, business travel is now exceeding 2019 numbers. But what I think is interesting is I was at the Tennessee Relocation Conference last week. There's a lot of talk about relocation being down. And I'm wondering a little bit maybe if some of this business travel is kind of a hybrid model of what previously had been maybe some relocation assignments is going into a remote and short-term business travel versus that permanent relocation. Just something that I thought recently when I was at the conference last week. So really good information about corporate business travel and being exceeding 2019 numbers. So the next article we have is about the apartment industry. It's about the number of starts in March plunging versus February. So month over month numbers, February to March. Apartments being way down, single family being down also, but that's a little bit of a misnomer because when you look at the annualized, the year over year numbers, multifamily is way down, 43% off of last year numbers. Single family still up over year. So this article I really think is about multifamily because what we're seeing is while a lot of inventory is coming online this year, just going off a cliff of number of new starts in the multifamily. And when you look at permits too that are released, those are down. Single family is up a little bit, multifamily is down 22%. So I think this will be a trend. Actually, there was a lot of permits 3, 4, 5 years ago that were given out for single family that they have to use in a 5-year period. So I think there's going to be an uptick in single family starts this year, but we're seeing multifamily really go over that cliff this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the next couple of years. And the next article is about, comes from Worldwide ERC. They kind of give their overview. So what happened last week was there's a federal court in Missouri. They gave their preliminary approval of the NAR, the National Association of Realtors settlement. And that's obviously the judge granted preliminary approval. There's more to come on this, but this gives this kind of like the start of the process. So entities such as the MLS networks, eligible brokerages have until June 17th to opt into this settlement, and then we'll see. The DOJ still need to rule on this, but this looks like where we're going. So I think until June 17th, we won't see a whole lot happen between now and then, but WRC does have kind of an ad hoc group that's monitoring this. They'll update as they see more information, but this is a good article for you to read from WERC. And then the last article we have is about Guesty. Guesty is a short-term vacation rental property management system. They acquired Rentals United, which is a distribution service company in that space, short-term rental, vacation rentals. That space, short-term rentals, is really kind of fragmented right now, so this isn't too surprising. Guesty has recently raised $130 million in funding, so it's also not surprising that they're going out for acquisitions. Like I said, there's a lot of fragmentation, so I think this kind of makes sense. We'll probably see a lot of this in the vacation rental, short-term rental space. And this is just two companies kind of coming together and utilizing their strengths together. And they will move forward with this, and I think we'll see more acquisitions in the short-term rental space as the year goes along. So those are the articles that we have this week. If there's anything that you'd like us to talk about, please let us know. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter or podcast, go ahead and do that. But that's what I see transitioning this week. Take care, everyone.